Hey, what's up, fellow cyclists? So we've had the Super 6 Evo build completed for approximately a month. I've had time to create some thoughts and, well, I definitely haven't changed any of my thoughts since the first ride. So we're basically doubling down on all those initial impressions with it. Have had some more time on these new wheels, which are definitely world beaters. So these things are the Avian CR5 DBs. They're not ridiculously expensive. I mean, they're not cheap, but they're not some $3,500, 1,300 gram wheel. These are coming in with the Trump tariffs under 2,000 bucks. And stay seated for this because they are 995 grams. So yep, less than 1 kg for the pair, 45 deep, carbon spoked. They are hooked as well, not hookless, so you don't have to worry about your tires rolling off or blowing off the rims. And they're super fast. They are very stable in the wind, which to me is the most important thing. It's literally, I've said it in other videos and people from other parts of the country probably don't believe me, but it's 20 plus mile per hour crosswinds here all day, every day, no matter how early in the morning you get out. And it is just freaking brutal. So riding my custom 55s was a major mistake getting those made. My 50 versions were marketably better and my 40s were better still. So these I would say are on par with my 40s. These are a little bit deeper, but the bladed spokes are not quite as wide, and I think that's the main culprit on the front wheel here, is having super wide, super aero spokes. It really does catch the wind. So if you're going 35K solo and you've got 45 degree or 90 degree, 20 mile per hour constant, you are literally like putting all your weight through on one of your hands. You're, flexing your core a little bit to keep the bike in the bike lane or on the shoulder on the painted line. And honestly, it's not something you would think takes a lot out of you, but when every single ride is an FTP test or a time trial, those little things of concentration are enough to just kick you out of the zone. So, and when I say zone, I mean like the mental zone, not like your heart rate zone. So yeah, it might not make any kind of like power difference that you can put a tangible measurement on, but in the crosswinds, when you're fighting it, it's the mental strain of keeping your bike straight that is your biggest wattage cost for sure. So I highly recommend them. No issues at all. Had 2 flats in this whole time, and that's because I ride on nothing but broken glass and roofing nails here in an unmaintained bike lane. But these wheels are perfectly true. I mean, I've jumped them over the railroad tracks a bunch of times, and these things are like 100% perfect. They look great, and yeah, I can't say enough things. So if you want a sub 1,000 kg set of wheels, I would pay any amount of money for these. These were less money than my custom ones were, and yet they're lighter. Oh, and besides that, these actually have a full-blown warranty. So, like I said, these are world beaters. Get a pair. So the other thing that I've been rocking now, if you know I'm a brake guy from my road racing motorsports background, is what you're looking at here is actual legitimate carbon ceramic rotors like on a Ferrari. So these are pretty darn slick. Do they have a purpose? Do they really belong on, a bicycle? Having this exotic, tech. I'm gonna take a break here for a second, but here's a cool piece I got years ago. So what you're looking at here is off of Team Red Bull's F1 car. And I took some titanium from the car, had a dish stamped, this liner, and I took some other titanium bolts and got some rubber pucks on it. So I've had this like insanely sick F1, brake rotor. I was using it as a cigar ashtray and like an EDC dump tray for like your wallet, your keys, your watch, your pocket knife, all that kind of stuff. So super crazy exotic, super white. And we've got very similar tech now in the bicycle world. So I have tried this with 2 different sets of pads, and I gotta say, the caveat, if you're riding in Florida where it is perfectly flat, and I go days at a time, days in a row, literally without touching the brakes, not a single time. On my loop here, if I get lucky, I won't ever have to stop for a red light even. So, I mean, I'm serious. I go out of the house, roll down the driveway, touch my brakes real quick just to make sure they work, and I will not touch them again. So I'm saying that because these are harder to get bed in for sure. The thermal conductivity and heat transfer between the pads and the rotor surface is definitely different than just running regular steels. See here how it changes in the reflection a little bit, but yeah, so with the stock resin pads, they definitely do not have the initial bite, and the modulation is very linear, but it takes a lot of finger effort with the stock resin pads in the Dura-Ace. I forget what the number is, but I tried those first, and then I swapped in the titanium KO4 TIs, which are the full metallic pad, which is what I always run on all my regular brake setups, and I really like those. Those are easy to get bed in. All you have to do is sprint up to like 40K and brake hard to like 15 kilometers an hour, not to a complete stop, and do that as fast as you can with just one axle, meaning like go do your rear brake and then go do your front brake. In less than 10 stops from brand new, your pads will be basically bedded. Or if you have a good hill, you can just sprint down the hill, brake hard, sprint down the hills, brake hard, and do that really quick, really easily, in probably 2-3 minutes. So that transfers the pad material chemically to the surface of the rotors, and then you're basically braking your brake pads against the transferred brake pad material that the rotor is carrying. And the problem with these is these things dissipate heat so darn quick that I'm really not able to get enough heat into them. So even by doing that, since I'm riding solo, I just really can't get them hot enough. So they ride continuously like, you have brand new pads on your bike basically that aren't bedded yet. So the braking power and modulation with the KO4 TI pads on these carbon rotors is definitely less by, I would say, at least 50% of what it would be on the steel rotors in their current, status. And so if you do get a pair of these, you can see, hopefully I can get this on camera, a little bit of the finish. Once these are properly bedded, these should look exactly like the surface. If you go on eBay or something, type in, Ferrari 458, you'll be able to see close-ups. Ignore this, pad transfer. That's just from spinning it on the stand and then dragging a little bit because I got to recenter it. But yeah, they're a little bit lighter, and I wish I had some hills to go down to really put some heat into them. But at this point, for Florida use or total flat, time trial use, they're lighter, they're trickier, but you're gonna lose somewhere between 20 and 50% finger effort to, mechanical stoppage. Yes, they stop, but no, they are not one finger brakes while you're on the hoods. If you're riding in the drops, 2 fingers on the levers is still more than enough power. So, but at this point, if you're riding in Florida, I gotta say again, you are not going to increase your braking power, but these things, I could tell you, if you live in Colorado or, Northeast or somewhere where you're getting out there doing lots of descents or high-speed descents and you want to drag the brakes or, just that's basically what your braking performance is in bicycle racing. It's not about stopping quickly for road racing. It's just how much thermal capacity they have if you're trying to do like maintain, going from 60K back down to 35K for a corner, back up to 60 down to, 30 again, while you're going down descent with some curves in it. So you can overwhelm, standard setups. And that's another reason why, if you could, you'd like to run like dot fluid, like RBF 600 in your brakes rather than the, baby oil basically. In Shimano's, it's got a higher boiling point. But anyways, bike ride's great. Wheels are fantastic. The carbon axles, never given up. Like I said, I've run 3 other pairs. So I've got like 25,000 miles between the Trek and the Pinarello over fast carbon axles. The Avian Canary bars are amazing. They're stiff. You can't beat them for the weight. They're comfortable. Everything about this bike is basically perfect. The saddle, the ultralight seat post, the frame is really good. I wish the stack height was lower. The bars feel like they are up super high for me. This is with the 800 millimeter saddle to bottom bracket height. So, I mean, it's a long pair of legs here. But yeah, those bars are just up like kind of riding like an endurance bike is what it feels like. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do. This bike is actively listed now. I may take the rest of this next week off depending on when I post this video. Like I said, I've got some major issues in my, well, we'll not get into that, but hoping these issues go away. So, all right, guys. Ride safe out there, and remember, build a bike that you want to keep forever at this point, because I don't think we're going to be seeing any more new innovation. Frames aren't getting lighter. You can't make wheels any lighter than this and have them be safe. Cranks aren't lighter. I mean, nothing's getting more aero. So we're just at the age of the gimmicks now. So it's going to be AI generated garble and marketing whiz bang BS that everybody's feeding you. All while we're seeing this, it's everything made in China, and the prices, what are they doing? Well, everybody's got 16,500 bikes plus tax now. And they're not getting any lighter. So build yourself a bike, buy the whatever entry-level model it is so you get the right frame, and then just piece by piece, put the good stuff on it, and over a course of a couple months, or maybe a year or 2 years, if you want to keep that thing, you can slowly work your $4,000 bike into, something that's definitely better than a 15 grand off the rack bike. All right, guys. Well, sleep good, eat your carbs, and work out hard. Cheers.